Pan a la carte, players only. Today we have a young lady, a veteran in the house, by the name of Avis Bruce-Brown from Unistars, and of course the National Steel Orchestra for the past decade. All right, so I want to welcome her. Avis, what's up?
Hey, good night. Hi.
Good night. Good night. What's up? What's up?
Hi there. I'm awake and alive and thankful for the blessings and the opportunity to be on Pan a la carte.
Nice, 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 man. It's a pleasure having you here. For a young lady who I know for many, many years.
Many moons.
Many moons. All right, so let's get started off in the program, right? Just tell us about your background. How you end up as Davis? Your background, where you went, what primary school, where you do? You play football, cricket, you climb mango tree, where you do all my.
Well, I am Avis Bruce-Brown. I'm originally from Marval, Trinidad, Port of Spain. Yes, I did play football. I climbed mango trees. I was an adventurous youth. I played rounders. I played a lot of community sports, cricket. I did a little bit of track and field. I attended Marval Girls RC School. I went on to Belmont Junior Sec and then to Tranquility Government.
Nice,
I think it's just as I apart from the sports, well, I ventured into music or steel pan as my instrument of choice. At a very young age, I was still going Marval RC when a pan was brought to my house, and I kind of started fiddling with it, and that's basically where I started.
So when I say hit it on it, you was beating it out?
No, I wasn't beating it. I was getting beat up to not play it.
You were getting beat up to not play it?
Yeah, simply because it was a pan. Well, one man, deceased now, God rest his soul.
Right.
He gave my father a pan for my brother. And you know how siblings are when it's their property and the smaller one tried to touch it, was happy. I mind.
Right.
So I had to wait till he leave the house because it was sitting there for a while and I just watching it and amused and want to know what is this. And I started taking it and playing with it when he not home.
Nice.
And that's basically where my love or the tabanca or the hunger for pan started.
So you didn't learn a tune yet? So before you get that vibe? Yeah? The hunger was just watching it?
No, it wasn't just watching it because he used to play the recorder and I started playing the recorder right after him. So I used to write little notes from the recorder and I realized the pan had the same kind of notes. Right. I didn't know what pan was and music and thing, but we would write out little songs and I would stick it up on the wall and try to play it on the pan,
Nobody didn't teach you. You were self-taught then?
Yeah, I was self-taught.
That's good.
Self-taught.
That's good. And so when you end up in steel band? I
think when I went to Tranquility Government in Form 4, they had a school music festival at that time. And I mean, you go to a school and you hear in pan, but I didn't know where the pan was coming from. So I just get kind of like with this, and I start hunting around the school to find it. And then I walk in a room at children playing pan. Everybody playing pan. I didn't even know it had different pan. I just know the pan it had home.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I didn't know about pan. And I started asking, well, I have a pan home, so give me the notes now I could go and practice, They were already preparing for school festival. And I was told, well, it's only 3 weeks of the festival, so you ain't gonna get to play because they was practicing whole of July, August, and you now come and I mean, I was still persistent. I met Stacey Rose, I don't know if you know her, she's played Desperados. She was the captain of the band. And I started telling her, here what, man, I want to play them songs, you know. Even if I ain't get to play, I want to learn it. You know, I used to sneak in the band room, recess time, lunchtime, after school. I didn't even tell my parents I was playing. And lo and behold, you know, I get to play the festival.
I hear that.
Yeah, I got to play the festival. The teacher was like, I didn't put you out the band room. I said, I had the tune, you know. Put me on several times, huh? Several.
You stormed the woman, band class.
Yeah, I stormed the band. That's not a lie. Yeah, I mean, I met Clive Bradley. I didn't know who he was. He was arranging for the school band at that time.
Okay.
And there was Corporal Rosales, because you know you had to play 2 songs.
Right.
And Bradley would say, we only find this child. We only find this child. She just come in here and she top the music. And he talking, you know, talking to the teachers and them, and then I get to play the festival. I didn't even know how to ask my parents to play pan. I think when I tell my father, I want to play pan in the school, he said no. That was the heartbreak.
Thing. You want to tell him, Daddy, you know I'm playing. You should have tell him, Daddy, I am playing.
Well, that's what happened. I said, Daddy, I don't know the tune already. You know. He said, what tune you know? You can't play no pan. I said, Daddy, I play, and the miss look they give me uniform. And that time my sister was signing the consent form for me to go and all kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let me move on. So the passion hit you then. Right?
Yeah. To spend all the mornings, and you know the school band will practice early.
Yeah.
And the fact is that you're hearing it, but you don't know where to find it. And when you find it, they tell you you can't play. Like I feel like they just stab me in my heart and kill me in our school.
Wow.
But I spend the best 3 weeks of my life learning to play them songs.
Nice. I like that. And who is your biggest influence in pan? Who influenced it? Or what influenced it?
All right. I have several people would have influenced me on each walk of my journey as a musician or as a panist. I would say Andre Franco one.
Right.
From Tranquil, I went to Hummingbirds, and then I went to Potential Symphony.
Okay.
And it's at Potential Symphony, he saw he created avenues for people like myself, Natasha Joseph, Carlin Harewood, to be exposed to different arrangers and different panists while we were there on the state side, you know. Ken Fillmore was one. He brought to work with us on the state side, and he was the one started talking about learn to solo, learn your pan, learn your notes, learn your chords, you know. So he started saying he lacked the knowledge of understanding what these things was, although he was doing it. And we should always try to persevere to do better than be better than where he ended up, you know. He had a talent and he could play, but he was limited by the lack of understanding. Although I know he was doing it, he just didn't know he was doing it, you know. So he would have been one of the persons to inspire me, Andre Franco. I would say even Ken Fillmore, Len Bugsy Sharp, Robert Greenwich, Earl Brooks, Pat Bishop, Jacqueline Commission, now deceased, Dr. Phaedra Pierre. I have a lot of people that would have created an avenue for me to develop into the good
because you're on stages, different, you understand, different environment, different situation.
Yeah. These people would have done different things to help me along my way.
Nice. So you finished school, right? And how your career got started after but you did exams. You was one who was in the cathedral band?
Well, I would have been a founder of the cathedral band. I am one of the founders.
Oh,
Um,
let's hear about this cathedral band.
all right, that's Trinity All Generation School of Music. In 1994, Dr. Pierre would have been playing with us in Potential, Natasha, myself, and I would have traveled in 93 or so and realized that I was lacking something as a musician or as a pianist who wanted to pursue this as a career. I couldn't read music, I couldn't write music, and all I had was the ability to hear and learn tune fast, and I wanted more than that.
Mm.
So I started buying music books again and teach myself to read music because it's something is lacking. And then again, in those times, you don't you don't want to play one instrument because you can get leave out if you're not good enough. You know that.
Yeah.
So I taught myself to be able to play anywhere and to fit in anywhere that is needed, right? My instrument of choice is tenor. But I started teaching myself to fit in, to always be on that list. If it's
Mm-hmm.
five, I had to be five. If it's three, I had to be in three. So I started learning to read music, and I met Dr. Pierre Potential again. And in conversations with her, she said, you know, we starting a little music school down at the church. You could pass through and see, you know, because I just needed somebody to correct my work. I was just doing the work, and I didn't know where to go to do an exam or anything like that, you know. Um, and she invited me to the church, and I am in a class sitting on with some 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds, and asking myself, what are you doing here again? You know, you could be outside playing somewhere. You should have been out in America doing something, you know.
We're gonna kick back the camera with that one.
So, you know, I sing down in a class with all these little children, and but I mean, I want to get my work corrected, right? So I have to wait, you know. Um, so like a year passed, and time to take exam, and they had nobody to instruct the children. You know? Again, I took up the little hymnals and I started reading the hymns of this in the church and teaching them. I mean, she asked me, I wanted to become help us with the music part, and I said no. I said, I mean, come here for that, you know. I don't think I had that ability to instill knowledge into people in that way, because again, nobody never really taught me, so I don't know where I going, how I going to impart knowledge to children and get them to play, you know. But it happened that I created a formula and it worked. 25 years later, I still have a Trinity All Generation School of Music. People who teach in there would have been my students.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, the people who are still there and passing on the knowledge would have learned to play pan from me. It was not an easy journey with Trinity. You know, we had to go around begging steel band, and we had fans from all the bands in Trinidad, and none of them was good. I mean, I was grateful for the donation, and tags, as they call them, was grateful for the donation. And the other thing was they would bring people to work with them, and some people, you know, when they do see good pans and good thing, they tend to run from it, you know. So they had nobody to teach them, and I decided to take up that responsibility and see where it would go. And as I said, they took music exams, they did pan practicals at UWI. I ended up living in the churchyard, and that's where I met Pat Bishop, you know. I met Pat Bishop while I would spend time rehearsing on my own. And she said, well, you know, they tell me you're good, you know. I said, no, Miss Bishop, me ain't good. Okay, everybody afraid Pat Bishop when she comes here. They don't know what to say. I ain't good enough yet. No. I hear practicing. You see why is I with my music nailed up to a wall and I practicing. She said, well, you could come and have a choir Lydians. You could come to Lydians and I'll help you get better at what you're doing. Right? And then I ventured to Lydian Steel. Right?
Right.
I was still learning crotchets and minim how to read and roll that, and Pat threw me into opera.
Wow.
I learned a whole opera reading. know, she started off writing all the letters on the stage. She said, this is this and that. I said, yeah, I know the notes, you know. Started writing it out for me and saying, well, you could practice that and practice that. And I was catching my tail doing that, you know. And I say, Avis, you had to step up because she started saying, this game is not for little girls. This panting is not for little girls. So which means she want me to toughen up and bite the bullet and run with it or get out of the band. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted what she said. You know? Um,
Toughen up.
yeah, toughen up. Get your act together. Yes, you could play, but you can't read. Deal with that. Fix it. You know? And I started fixing it, you know. I met people there, they were writing notes on the paper, and then I realized I reading letters and I can't understand the phrase. So I started aligning myself with one of the keyboardists in the opera now. Because somebody was playing my line, and when Pat Bishop give you a score, you are the whole violin, it's an open score. She gave you a full orchestral score and then tell you, highlight that line, that is yours. And when it's empty, go down and find someone, help somebody else. So I get thrown into a big thing here, and I say, well, Davis, what you really doing, girl?
You jumping all over the place.
Yeah. So what you doing? You know? So, I tell you can play opera. You supposed to be playing in the church every Sunday and going home and feeling accomplished, you know? That was my big thing. You know?
Right. So you used to play the cathedral there on a weekend mass?
Yeah, I used to play with the group. I trained the group to perform every Sunday service. When it wasn't their service, they was going to other churches within a year. We had a full happening church steel band that was administering a youth service and 4 adult services for the month. Either at Trinity or at any other church, Anglican church or any other church that would invite them to come and play. And all the music was done by me. I mean, some of the church music to draw the youths. I turned some to reggae. I did some calypsos. I did it in pop. The same pieces.
Yeah,
With
that?
Yeah, they did. They didn't have a choice.
Okay.
Because the church was full when that music started happening. You know, some people didn't like it. They didn't like it. They didn't agree to it.
People might not like it.
But that's how the Lord moved me at that point in time, because I came from the era or the space where that is what I knew. And putting chords to music that is SATB and changing it into a different genre was something I started doing at the church. You know?
So at this point in time, people, we are here on Players Only, Carte, with Avis.
Hi.
All right. From Unistars. We're going to get to Unistars a little bit. We have a lot of things to talk about. Because the young lady here, right? You know, she worked hard. Right? She lived Marval. I was living Cottonhill, Marval. So she must pass me going to Port of Spain or leaving Port of Spain. Right?
That's right.
You know, yes, I saw her walking with Pan and thing. Yes, she walked with Pan. She would tell you about that story. She and a Pan stand. Right? It's not easy. So we're back on the program here. Avis.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you seek out opportunities for gigs and jobs and stuff as a soloist, as a performer?
Well, I became my own marketing person. In the early stages, it was Natasha and Colin and myself as the younger people from Potential, and we wanted to go out to do more than just play on the stage side. We wanted to establish yourself because we decided music is what we're going to do for a living. We were all teenagers, so when I get the gig, Tasha and Colin will come and play with me. When Tasha get the gig, I would go and play, and then eventually we started getting solo gigs. So them time you didn't have cell phone, you just had a landline. You either have a landline or you have somewhere to somebody to contact.
The boot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we didn't have all those social media or people can film you and put you up. So it's based on what somebody hear you do, you'll get more performances. I started playing with no tracks, learning to accompany myself. So to get gigs, every time you had to have a number, I created call cards. And then it's always like somebody heard you play and they take your number and they call you back. As a soloist, it's really tough. So, I mean, eventually gigs was just coming. Gigs would come. Gigs would come based on your performance and your ability to be on time and deliver what the people ask for.
As a female, as woman, right? You feel is there a gender bias in the art form, in that aspect as soloist, as a performer? You feel when you get a good deal, you find you be treated respectably, you find your paycheck is respectable, what you ask for?
Paycheck wise, no, there's no gender bias. There's what you are worth. You put a value on your time, your work, and your commitment to what you're gonna do. If your engagement for an hour, there's a price for an hour. If your engagement for 30 minutes, there's a price for 30 minutes. And that came about or evolved from conversations with other musicians. It has some people would say, I only want to pay $200. And I say, well, if you pay me $200, that is my transport alone. Right? Some people say it's fundraiser and they have no money. And I went and did all the fundraisers. I did all the fundraisers that I could do for free. And and you see me totally pan, I told that pan all over the place. I feel Johnny Walker was my father. I really work with that. But after a while you have to put a value on your time and your work. And people should respect that. And I don't think there's a gender discrepancy. It's just that people in the arts are looked down upon, and people feel that they should always get it for free, and next to nothing, because to practice 5-6 hours to get to that point where everybody calling you or you're in demand, it's not an easy road. You didn't just wake up in the morning and know how to play telele or Night in Tunisia or these kind of pieces. You don't just get up and open your eye and could play it, So, you can't have the tune. You can't time,
I think it's how much hours the self-practice you have to be a master. It's 40,000 or something, so hours.
Maybe you will never become a master, no? You'll just be surviving in this land.
Yeah, because the amount of hours, well, I talk for myself as that when I count up the hours of practice, practice when I start. I think I nearly make nearly 1 million and more hours, but it's plenty, especially panorama practice. That is a serious practice,
Tell me about it.
And those notes, and you have to get it right.
But you must have it right. You have to get it right, and it has to be crisp. You know how it is. Nobody don't eat tricks when it's soft. They want it hard.
Yes, and classical music for festival to play this thing, just score and those all that hours of practice and tense notes, rhythmic notes, all different patterns.
Sure.
And then people just want to call you and then
offer you a box of chicken.
Yes,
it had something on the table. You could participate in it. So
the most disrespectful thing is when they go to play, they have nowhere for you to set up. They want to put you in all
nowhere for you to set up, and they ask you to come 2 hours before, and they have nowhere for you to even sit. So you stand up with your fan until you meet the person that you're supposed to meet.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a gender bias, but I think in the entertainment circle, all artists at some point go through that.
Yep, I hear you. Yeah. So, and if you wasn't a panist, or if that thing, the passion didn't captivate you, what other job or what other profession you think you might have been looking at?
I was going to pursue law.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting. You was going to pursue law.
Yeah,
Wow. You're living close to the police station in Marvada.
very close.
uh, let me move on here. Interested. Going back to the top, when they talk about one man. So what
Yeah,
kind of relationship you had with one, ladies and gentlemen, one man is one of the founders of Casablanca. He died some years ago, right? And he formed in Marval Blanca 47, right? Or 57,
yeah,
so,
yes.
right? Blanca 47.
Yeah, well, one man and my father were like brothers. Not biologically, but no, after I learned to play piano, I didn't know my father was a pianist. I know my father playing a guitar in the house. And it's years after I became Avis Bruce, the musician, I walk into Casablanca Panyard and see pictures of my father on the wall playing with Casablanca that I knew my father was a pianist. I didn't know. And one man being his friend, my brother, older brother and sister would have played with Blanca 47, Marval Blanca 47. Um, and he was one always looking at this young boy, give him something to do. So he would bring a pan. And from how I know one man, he would always try to indulge or incorporate some way to find something for the youth to do, you know. And I've heard stories of him being bad, one man, hence why he was one man. He did everything on his own. He decided he wanted a Blanca in Marval, so he opened Marval Blanca 47, and he was still captain at Casablanca.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See it. And you never play on them at all.
Yes, I played in Blanca 47 as well. That's more my parents wanting community when they wanted to be part of the community thing. So my sister and brother was like on the committee, and I being the younger one, so I ended up with them, you know. But that was after I already started zoning all over the place, So I would have performed with Blanca, eventually started doing little verse and chorus stateside music with them too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, and this Avis
yeah.
Bruce-Brown. Well, she is one of our leading players, and she had long service to our country on the National State Orchestra. Tell us about that, your experience within the NSO.
Well, there was the National Steel Orchestra which formed in 1998. Now that was another story. Um, Apparently there was a circulation through the ministry to steel bands to send two of the best stateside players to form a national steel band in Trinidad and Tobago. I think they were reincarnating a old national steel band system that had happened before and it was non-existent, and they wanted to revive it. And well, I didn't belong to no steel band in terms of stateside. So I applied and was left out. And I realized the things started happening and people getting called and I not getting called. So I started writing ministry. I started writing ministry every week. What's going on with this pan thing? When I realized nobody ain't calling and getting closer, I spoke to the Miss Bishop. She said, "You really want to go and join that?" She said, "I ain't gonna be good." And I said, "I nothing, it ain't good. I go make it better when I reach inside." I had a mission. Um, so she would have started writing letters alongside me. Nolly Clark would have started writing letters on my behalf because, again, I did not belong to a steel band, so I wouldn't get in. And I saying, well, I think I good enough to get in the national band. And I saying, well, even if I get in, then I might be low ranking down in the back because you and Dane Gulston and all the guys was the fellas on top. You know? You know, I don't stand a chance, but I'm going still. You know? I go in.
Serious?
I go in. I think I good enough. You have to start thinking so, you know.
So wait now. So you stormed this band too?
Yeah. Right.
How much band you storm? Right through you storming all them band? You storm the school band?
Yeah, storm the school band, yes. I
Oh,
stumbled into Lydians and then I stumbled into the NSO. No,
right.
I mean, you had to survive out here, you know, and I think I had the playing ability. I was reading. I had the grades. I had the qualification. It's just that I didn't belong to a steel band. I didn't have All Stars or Desperados attached to my name or Exodus, you know.
Right.
But I just saying, well, I think I had the same edge them guys have. I could play good. I just learned tune well fast. I go in and apply. And I applied. And I realized nobody calling. I started going in ministry and asked what's going on. Because I need a job. Mr. Alfred and Auburn Wilshire would have been the steel band development officers at the ministry. And I wanted to know, well, nobody ain't telling me anything. Imagine my students from the church get called and I didn't get called.
Well,
you know? And sometimes them boys in standard 5 and they had grade 5. I said, but I had the same grade 5 and only ain't call me, so I make noise. You know, I turned some soil and I was actually given an opportunity to be auditioned and interviewed. I think it was me.
When that thing did first launch,
yeah,
they make fly home for that interview. I took the interview, right?
Yeah,
and come back home, and that shit was like shifting sand. It was something like quicksand. The more you wiggle the deeper you sink. It had no direction.
It had its hiccups, but you see, what I was thinking and what I meet there. I mean, you're walking to start rehearsing and 30 people there and 20 only walk with 10 upon on their shoulder. See what the jail is this?
So the whole band was 10 players?
Yeah, it was a whole group of 10 players. I mean, it was a good initiative to employ and think about employing the panelists given, but it was, when you think about it, when you ask a band to send the better players, who are they going to send it? Now, I find bands have bass players and cello players that are just exceptional, but everybody send the frontline men, you know?
Yeah.
When I see Clarence Morris and Carrie, I say, Miss, you go get through, girl. I said, I try, you know? I try. I remember in the interview, they asked me if I was good as Bugsy Sharp. I said, well, yeah, I think so. I bet I just as good as Bugsy. And I could give the same contribution. I just took my life out to get in it. I just say.
Nice.
And
nice.
So I spent 9 years there.
Presently, and from 98 to now, that's when I get in there?
Well, I got in 98, and in 2007, they transitioned the orchestra into the National Steel Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
And I had to audition for that too. I didn't just transition from NSO to NSSO.
That's Mr. Murray?
Yeah, this one was under the battle of Mr. Murray. The National Steel Orchestra, we didn't have all the things in place, but a bunch of fabulous musicians I worked with, and the experience was different to the National Steel Symphony.
Okay.
Not everything is perfect, but I continue to be a cultural ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago because I think that's your whole goal when you join a national group. You know, you're here to represent Trinidad and Tobago to the best of your ability. You know, and I think everybody share that vision in the National Orchestra and even in the NSSO.
Nice.
In NSSO, it was a difference because now you have to actually read. you have to have your music and your playing ability, not just the ability to play. Now the game step up a little more. You have a conductor. Most of us wasn't playing with that. Some of them wasn't playing with conductors. Even in the NSO, when I went in, there were people who didn't have music grades. I would have assisted in some of them becoming music literate. Alongside Clarence, Anthony Rose, and Shalom, we were the 4 persons who came in with that qualification and would have had to teach the members or the players to read music and to become literate and
Okay.
match the rest of the orchestras around the world.
Oh, yeah.
So that would have happened.
So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we here with Players Only with Avis Bruce-Brown. Right?
Excuse
And she just was inside with her experience with the National Steel Orchestra and the National Steel Symphony. Right? And we're moving on. You're playing in all them band and them about the country. Which is the
Yeah.
best Panama song you play?
I think the best one I would have played was Pan Pirates with for me, one
Yeah.
would have been Pan Pirates with Desperados. Even working as an arranger together with Kareem, one of my compositions was Pantrix. That was the year I actually got injured in the Panyard with the incident.
All right, wait. We ain't going there. We ain't reach there. The
Yeah,
Panyard.
I just saying Pantrix was one of our arrangements that I thoroughly enjoyed. And Somewhere in Tobago was another composition of mine. And for me, that panorama experience that Bugsy Sharp would have taken my composition and do it with Dixieland. Kareem would have had it with another band in Tobago called West Side Symphony. So for me, those were my best panoramas. I didn't even have to be a player. The reality is that your composition is being arranged and performed by other steel bands.
All right. So now we're going into your band now. Let the viewers, everyone knows the name of your band.
Right. Unistar Steel Orchestra is my band. See the jersey? See the name? I'll bring it up close.
Yes, Unistars.
Yeah. No, Unistars is a single pan band in the community of Laventil on the old St. Joseph Road, better known as the Back Road, or they now rename it to Bertie Marshall Boulevard. So,
How many years did you know with this band?
all right. So I've been with Unistars for the last 12 years. Actually, the Unistars is like one corner away from where I live in now. And they would have actually invited Kareem to come and work with them. And, Kareem, I would have gone along with him. I wasn't doing anything, working with anybody. And we both sat and came together and make Unistars or collaborated and bring Unistars into a band that people will be now, is now a household name in the community.
And who is Kareem?
Kareem Brown is my husband.
Nice.
Okay.
But
Yes, and I'll say one of my best friends in the music world, in the entertainment industry. Yeah.
you all are both on the National Symphony?
Yes. Well, right now I am now the stage and equipment manager for the National Steel Symphony Orchestra, and Kareem is the captain.
Right. Okay. And Kareem too is with Pat?
Yeah, Kareem was a member of Lydians. That's where I met Kareem. Yeah.
All right. So we had to come back to this family, but this family interesting, but because we had to know about Kareem too, but not tonight.
Yeah. Not
Right?
tonight.
Not
Nah.
today.
No.
No. Right. So, anyways, we're going back with Unistars. Right. Some years ago, we all had an incident there at the Panyard where a friend of ours lost his life and it was traumatized for players. Tell us about that incident.
Why? Huh. That incident is getting me emotional.
Okay.
I could talk about it. Right. That year was 2011. we were in rehearsals. We were actually occupying a vacant gas station on the back road. So somewhere to practice, it was empty for some years, and we would have occupied the space. Actually, the management before would have occupied that space there, and we were in rehearsals preparing to play Panorama the next day. And players like to come late, timing. We were in rehearsals, and we were actually putting an ending to the song. Pantrix as one of the compositions of mine, I was saying, that we use for the Panorama. And I still today, people say a car pass and drive by and shoot up the panyard. I just remember hearing shots. The first time I ever hear shots in my life, in all the time I in Laventille. First time I hear shots so close up. First time I actually, people talk about the community, of how the community this and the community that. But that was the first time I would have experienced or hear gunshots up close. And I mean, I'm listening to, let me go again, I knock in the pan, and then I hear one shot. And I say, well, maybe it's a firecracker, and then I hear a next shot. And then I realize the shots started to get closer. So I'm begging people to get on the ground, because I didn't know where the shots was coming from. It seemed like it was on the hill. And I am saying, boy, what these fellas, you're lying down on the ground and you're seeing all this light. And I'm wondering why the fellas on the hill angry with Unistars. We was playing too loud, are we practicing too late? I started asking myself that while I lying down on the ground. I hear bullets ricocheting through the pans, and I said, but like, is we the shooting? Why they shooting here? Unistars at that time was a bunch of old men and a few young people, parents accompanying the children to the panyard, and they would sit and wait, and we there with the youths trying to just make the community proud, And I mean, after the dust was settled, and I trying to pick up the pieces in the panyard, I realized I got shot. I thought at first, well, I saw a hole on my t-shirt, so I pulled it off. And I started feeling my back, searching to see, well, if I actually did pick up a bullet. And then I get up and try to walk, and I realize I actually pick up another one on my leg. And then, well, my concern was where the children who was all right, and then getting up and realizing I got shot. Somebody grabbed me and said, well, we're going to the hospital one time. I mean, I thought it was graze, because they searched your jersey and I didn't see a hole to the back, and I'm able to walk, limping. And I said, well, I get graze in my mind, And like 5 minutes, I reached the Port of Spain General, and then the doctor saying, like, the bullet went straight through. I said, bullet went straight through, and that's when I passed out. You know what I mean? Because I thinking I got graze, and I run into the hospital to make sure I was all right. Bullet passed through my left breast, straight through. I just remember them picking up somebody from the drain and asking, well, who was sitting where I was? I mean, I was actually parallel to the road, so the whole situation, I'm trying to picture who was where in my mind, and I didn't know who the person was until I heard Cyrus' wife in a room next to me. She was, that time I realized he died,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Cyrus Henry.
He's really but
yeah,
Unistars
I mean,
band, Unistars was community
he played with the band, and he decided that year he was playing by Hammonites, and he was dedicating his Panorama to Hammonites. So he came to hear us before we played the next night. So he came to listen. He said, well, I remember him saying, let me hear all you, knock the pan there, and he sit down, And I don't know, when I said get down, he stood up, and he ended up picking up some of the bullets. So that whole situation, I mean, 30 seconds, and people died, people got shot, 4 of us were shot. a 13-year-old boy, Yvonne, Batson, and Cyrus.
Wow.
You'd never think a panyard to me is a safe space in Trinidad. I mean, I have been to Potential up in 6,000 new people see up there, but I mean, I play all over Trinidad, and I never felt the fear of having to go to a panyard.
The Panyard is the safest
It's
place.
supposed to be a safe space. Yes, there's a safe space. It's supposed to be a sanctuary that I used to live in Potential Panyard. I used to be there from 9 in the morning until 3 in the morning, to the next day. And when you reach home, you just take a bed and eat something and go back again. Like you kind of practice. So you don't think that you never thought that this would happen to you in a panyard. I mean,
Yeah.
Pat Bishop was like, she passed out in Exodus, hearing that. She called me and started talking about, I hope it doesn't deter you from not going to a panyard again, or you would want to stop playing because you're doing good work. She started, I mean, we cried for like 3 hours on the phone trying to convince me not to stop playing pan.
So, and the band continue practicing there, or you all moved to a
Um,
different.
for 2 years, it took me 2 years to go back to the spot. Mentally, I just couldn't see a car passing. I couldn't hear a car passing. I don't know who should the band up. I don't know. I mean, a lot of things go through your mind because you've been on that spot for years and you don't understand what warrant that kind of action towards pan people. You know what I mean? Pan people though, you don't bother people. We were the ones they stigmatized as bandits long time, but pan people not robbing people. Pan people using the sticks and trying to persevere in a community and help the youths to turn their life around, and then somebody decides to do that. I don't know
Yeah.
what was the reason. I'm sure there was no bandits in the panyard. I'm sure there was no bandits in the panyard. So I don't know what was the situation. If somebody decided to get new weapons and they wanted to try it out, if it was an initiation, those are the things that went through my mind, because you hear talk, and all I do is hear talk.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is that they damaged the band for a few years because we had to practice for Panorama in Woodford Square.
Wow.
I couldn't go in the panyard.
Wow.
We were
Wow.
sitting ducks just in an open space, and who's to say it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
So
So,
those are
so
the things.
that premises, you all own it now? You all put up a wall? What you all did?
All right, the National Security Ministry would have assisted us with putting up a wall and securing the premises. We are in final negotiations with NP to acquire the property for 100 years under a lease. So it would be Unistar's property for 100 years once we finish with the lease arrangement. And we're going to put up a proper structure and continue with the work that we doing.
Lovely, 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 lovely. So, yeah, now, Avis, seeing as you
Yeah.
went through all these trials and they came out successful and they keep going, what advice you have for the young ones, man? The young ones who are aspiring to do good?
First thing we had to do is learn things the right way. Don't be shady with it. A lot of people will try to use you. Just remember you have a value, put a value on yourself. Especially for the players. The arrangers have a value. Each arranger have their value and their worth. As a player, you had a value what you're doing and your time. You see, it's not just a lot of people now in the panyards to make money. I was never playing pan for money, in the earlys. It was never about money. It was about the love and the passion for playing and music. It didn't have a university for me to go to. So I played with 12 bands because I study in Bugsy, I study in Robert, I study in Bradley, I study in Earl Brooks, I study because everybody, as I said, would have had something to lend to my development. So I would have used those forums to enhance my career and my ability. And as a musician or a young pianist coming up, learn both. Be that person that when out of season, you will always have mango or sorrel in your fridge. I just drink sorrel whole year, so I am the sorrel in my fridge. You understand what I'm saying? Well,
I
so you
understand
need
it
to
well.
always be that person that will get the job. You know, it's hard out here, but you could survive, right?
Correct.
And don't lock into just because if you hear my career path, I didn't just stay and be a player. I became a teacher. I became a composer. I became a transcriber, and today I am managing one of the managers for the National Steel Symphony because you can see development and growth from where I started, you know. So don't just bottle into as a soloist and that's all. Because when the tambourine tree in being in April or wherever, it had no tambourine. So you had to eat something else. When pak choy not being or it's not growing, you had to eat something else and you had to survive. And in order
That's
to survive out here, you
a
had
little
to be,
a little badgy.
yeah, you had to put a little bhaji and you had to put a little okra and you had to have some chicken growing and for those who like the meat and things, I just say it. So as a
Yeah.
musician and as you develop and you grow into somebody, just remember don't truncate yourself into one corner and stay there and that's the only means to survive.
Practice and
Practice.
practice.
Practice. And it's not always about the almighty dollar.
No.
Because if you're playing pan just for the almighty dollar, you will starve.
Yeah.
You will
Correct.
starve. And, am I saying anything different, Noel?
Nope.
That
Nope.
is it.
Nope. Nope. That way it is because is that why I know is things people getting involved in the art form. We don't know if it's good or bad. I know when I started, it was all in innocence, right?
That is it.
It was just something for art. It's something that inside of me, right? Because Granny I had common entrance, and she said, "You're not playing no piano, you're gonna listen." My uncle and them going and play. But by the time Invader started practice, I didn't know three songs already. So
Right.
and them didn't know any. So it was something was there for me. So
Yeah.
some people doing it now because they see my friends doing it. Some people
Yeah.
doing it because it's an attraction to go online with the girls. Some doing it for all different reasons.
To get out of the
Right?
house and get away from mommy and to be outside. You know,
Yeah.
that was some of our reasons for being outside, but our main thing was to be good at what you're doing. And when I
Yeah.
say be good, always be the best. Try to be the best at what you're doing. Right?
Well, when they're talking about child labor, I was 11 years old and I'm playing in Fete in the Hideaway, in Holiday Inn,
Mm-hmm.
Lion Civic Center,
Yeah.
Carnival, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, I remember
you know,
being too young to be in mass camp and we had to sit down in the back.
yeah,
And when you
right?
come on stage and play and you couldn't drink nothing, because people feel like giving you alcohol, you know. I still don't drink alcohol, I just said. So,
Yeah,
you know,
you know, I tell people I did not grow up with my age group.
no, I
I
didn't
said
either.
every and it's big public servants and all the fun big man in the panyard. Was my age group. Was my I never spent time with my age group.
Mm.
And I ask myself, I question that now as I'm an adult. It's like, hey man, you miss out. You miss out on. But I still get time to play football or cricket or basketball, whatever, but I
Yeah,
didn't get with my age group. I always
yeah,
think ahead. I always think like an adult, right?
yeah,
Because it's experienced people, right?
yeah.
So it's a
Yeah,
different
and,
life.
a
But it,
perfect example. A perfect
thank you again.
example. You done?
Thank you again for coming on the a la carte. We want to thank you tremendously. But
Yeah.
before we leave and think, we're the #1 program on Pan a la carte.
Players only.
Who is that?
Players only.
Thank you, thank you. Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Pan a la Carte Players Only, the #1 fan program. You could get information. You could get to know the individuals. Not hear about the individuals, but get to know them, hear the expressions, right? Hear the trials, hear the time and the hours that is put into this trade, right? To master it, to accomplish a certain level of musicianship, right? To adapt to the attitude of being a professional and understanding the ethics of professionalism. To aspire to be, right, a total wrong musician, reading and performing and understanding what you're doing, right?
Yep.
Avis is a good example. Avis is not just a woman in the business, all right? She's not. So Avis, thank you again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. Good night.
And all that. Well, I don't know how. So we're gonna start a practice now with the social distancing and thing.
And you could zoom your practice just like this.
Resume your practice, all right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let's
about
find
your feel,
the new normal, you know.
all right, yes. And you feel we got something in September. Excuse me.
Say again?
You feel we will have something in September, November, panorama for single part?
Well, I hope it's in 2021.
Yeah, I think it will get pushed back because it is 2021. Put everything back to normal. And I want 2021 to be a local carnival, no foreigners.
It might just be a local carnival.
Yeah, I feel got to be a local carnival. Hard luck to all those
I
who
just have
come.
we just had to pray that this situation, yeah, better turn. Right now, it's looking good
It's looking good, right?
globally.
Yeah. And I can understand this is an opportunity to build musicians in the country, build the art form. Because, like, they will just wait for this club to bring in the box office, right? Why we
Yeah,
need the box office? This is a time that we should have local artists on platforms.
that's
All
right.
of Trinidad and Tobago. Let the community come out. Let's build back the industry from inside. But I'm not a politician. I'm not making the decision. We're
Yeah,
not doing that,
no, we
right?
don't. We
But
don't make the decision. We make music and we entertain.
yes.
Keep it happy.
We do that. So again, people, thank you very much. We want to thank Avis for joining us here on the Players Only. It's a pleasure. Right? I know we could go on and go on, right? But
Talk for 10 hours, but that's fine. It's over 30 years, you know, so let's go. Have a good
yes.
night and thanks for having me.
Hey, peace and blessings and all the best. All right.
And loving your
Ladies
books.
and gentlemen, as we wrap up here tonight, yes, we are doing a recording for the show. Yes, it's a recording. So as we wrap up today, all right, we just want to say thank you very much for joining us. All right, my name is Noel La Pierre. Stay tuned. Don't forget tomorrow, Tuesday, right? We on the a la carte again, right? The menu is going to be spicy. Don't worry. Tuesday was nice. Tuesday was nice, right? And we continue to improve. We continue to get better, right? God bless. Stay right here next to me. Nothing more